Hello and welcome to the very first live stream show of me, Tom Junior Jackson. This is something chat show with your host Tom Junior Jackson presents live stream number one. All right, so here we are. It's the first live show, and if you're in the chat, thank you. And if you have not yet, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the little jingle bell there to get notified whenever a new video goes up. And yeah, it should be fun. That should be fun to do. Let me do a little bit of house cleaning here, my friends. Hello, Stubble McShave. Good to see you. Just before we begin, I'm going to give a few shout outs here. We're going to shout out to the Burnett Work and Robert Meyer Burnett. I'm going to thank him very much for encouraging me to do my own channel, and also to Martino Solmani, who does the play check. If you go to the Burnett Work and you go into their playlist, there's a playlist called Play Check, which Martino Simoni does an incredible job of these homemade episodes of Play Check with toys and stuff. They're really cool. Thomas, hello. It is good to see you. Also, I want to give a big shout out to Positive Fandom. Check them out. Check her out. Check out her channel and subscribe to that. She's also very instrumental in me getting my doing my channel and whatnot. She's a friend. She's a collaborator. Sometimes I want to say conspirator. I don't know why, but that pops in my head. But she's a great friend of the channel. I want to thank Quintanic, 50 Shades of Tay, Lady Romy, The Magic Geekdom, Super Infused, and 7 Days a Geek, the podcast with Jay the Angry Ginger. He does a podcast called From a Certain Point of View, I think. It's a Star Wars podcast, but look up 7 Days a Geek. And also Lana Yoon, who has a review show on the Burnett Work as well. And she's like one of my friends now. And also Ray Lytle, a little great show. Check out his channel. Irene Jobson is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Irene is in the house. How great is that, huh? It is good to see you. And now I have a ring around me, like as if J.J. Abrams has done the lighting in here. Hold on. That looks a little bit better. Yes, hit that like button, the subscribe button. Hello, Darth Plato. So, I guess what I wanted to do is show off my recent physical media that I've gotten so far today in this past month, I should say. Today I got from the Criterion Collection is Ernest Hemingway's The Killers. The Killers. And I don't know why this is reversed, but it is. But this is The Killers by Ernest Hemingway, directed by Robert Siodmak. And I have not watched this yet. And it has Ava Gardner in it and Burt Lancaster. Burt Lancaster, great actor. One of my favorite roles of his is in Field of Dreams. He plays Doc, the doctor, the baseball player. Great actor. He's great in another movie called Local Hero, which is another awesome movie. Fun to listen to, fun to watch. Why is slow mode on for chat? because if a lot of people come in here, it's going to get confusing for those. I could change it to fast if I knew how to do that. If I knew how to change the stream, hold on here. This is my first time doing this. Well, I'm going to have to keep it on what's this? Engage with your audience. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to change the speed on this. I got it on slow. It's very easy that way. Then you can follow along. Thank you for congratulating me, Irene Johnson, my partner in filth. Hope you are doing well. Hope you are feeling well. And thank you, Taylor. 50 Shades of Tay. Let me tell you all a little story. The other night, I did a Zoom with 50 Shades of Tay and King Tannic. And we were scheming. Something's coming down the pipeline from us, from us all, from the three of us. And I figured, well, we would Zoom and see how the dynamic was and if it would work and how we would play off each other. And the dynamic was so great and we got along so well. And Taylor made me laugh so hard because I brought up the Human Centipede and how I recommended to Lana Yoon about doing that for her channel. And I said to them, are you going to review all three movies back to back? Don't do that at the same time because it's not a good idea. And Robert Meyer Burnett put the kibosh on that. Lana was like, how could you do this? Why would you suggest that? And even her husband, Alan, was like, that's a no for me, dog. So I was mentioning this to Taylor, and Taylor went and found a background for him, which was the prison scene of the Human Centipede, and then proceeded to find different examples of the Human Centipede via Shrek and Pokemon, and had me laughing. And King Tannic was like, oh God, but he was trying so hard not to laugh. And it was such a great time till I told the story about Cesar Romero, which I'm going to explain to you all now. And then we'll get back to the physical media. So I am a fan of a podcast called Gilbert Gottfried's Amazing Colossal Podcast. Look it up. Great guests were on that show. As a matter of fact, he interviewed at one point Adam West, Burt Ward, and Julie Newmar. And they were talking about, Batman and all individual interviews. So Adam West was the first interview they did. And Gilbert asked Adam about Cesar Romero. And he said, Cesar Romero used to be this Latino Lothario in movies. He was a lover of women. But off screen, he may have been, how can I put this, gay. So he said that there was this thing that he heard that, hello, Fletcher, sorry. There we go, Fletcher. So he said there was this rumor he heard that Cesar Romero would go out and hire young men to come back to his dressing room. And Cesar would stand in the middle of the room with his pants down and have these young men throw orange wedges at his rear end like it was a bullseye. And I told this to Taylor, and Taylor lost it. He lost it. It cracked him up. So if you ever see Taylor sending up little emojis of of or myself or King Tannic of oranges, that is why. And as a matter of fact, I believe on the website for the Gilbert Godfrey podcast, you can actually buy an orange wedge pin. And there are people that have gone to the Oscars wearing the orange wedge pin. It's so anyways, he asks this question to Adam West. Adam West loses it and goes, "No, I've never heard of this." He asks Burt Ward, who played Robin. And Burt Ward's like, no, I've never heard that. Quite taken aback by it. Then Gilbert asked Julie Newmar. And Julie Newmar not only laughed, but said, "Gilbert, I should bend you over and spank you." And Gilbert loved that. And it is one of the funniest podcasts you will ever listen to. If you ever have the time of day, look up Gilbert Godfrey's Amazing Colossal Podcast. It is a time capsule of great actors that are no longer here that they got to interview. And I think the joke was whenever they wanted to get a guest on and that guest had died before they could get him on, it'd be like, "Do you think it was too soon?" So it's one of my favorite podcasts. Yeah, I'm so glad you all could come. Especially Irene. I'm glad you came, Irene. Glad of you to come. So I have the movie I got here today was Ernest Hemingway's The Killers. And I know this is reversed, but I don't know how to fix it. I'm going straight through YouTube. It says here, Ernest Hemingway's simple but gripping short tale, The Killers, is a model of economical storytelling. Two directors adapted it into unforgettably viral features. Robert Siodmak in 1946, in a film that helped define the noir style and launched the acting careers of Burt Lancaster and Ava Gardner. And then Don Siegel in 1964 with Lee Marvin and Angie Dickinson. Oh, so this is two movies. Oh, this is both movies. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is Scotty R37 from the Phantasmagorium channel. Look that channel up, subscribe to it. They could use the viewers. And who knows, you might be lucky to be there one night when Scott is royally drunk and decides to talk about his love for Gordon Lightfoot. So, the other movie I got here is Night in the City by Jules Dasani. Dasani? Night in the City. Which I think they remade this movie in the early 90s. Okay. Thanks for coming, though, Taylor. Very glad to see you in the chat. You have a good day. Have a great running of the errands and running of the bulls, I guess. But thank you for coming, and we'll definitely have to get together again soon. So you have a great day. Thank you for stopping by. Jeremiah King. Oh no, Jermaine King. I really need to clean these glasses. Hang on a second here, folks. Because without my glasses, I am blind. So let me tell you all a little bit about me. I am 40. It could be either way, Irene. Either way. I am 47. Wait, yeah, 47. I'll be 48 this year. My birthday is on Christmas Eve. I'm a Christmas Eve baby, and to this day, whenever I stop at whenever I go to a doctor's office and they look up my info, oh, you're a Christmas baby. When I die and I'm in the morgue and they're doing their stuff on me, oh, he was a Christmas baby. That's going to be said to me. And I think on my tombstone it should say, oh, he was a Christmas baby. And then we are all goof people. Yeah. And I'm 5'3". I have hazel eyes and pillow lips, as a certain person likes to say. And she knows who she is, and she's a very nice lady. But yeah. So the so the other movie I got was Champions. If you have not watched Champions yet with Woody Harrelson, this is a funny movie. And the great thing about this movie is that it was directed by Bobby Farley, who is part of the Farley brothers. And they did The Ringer with Johnny Knoxville. And when they did The Ringer, they sent the script to the Special Olympics. Special Olympics somehow loved the script. They said, no, this is great. You're getting the Special Olympics out there. This one, they thanked the Special Olympics and the thank yous on this, because this has to do with special needs people who play basketball. And there's one character in it who says he has a girlfriend, and he no, he says he has two girlfriends, and that he had a three-way. It's the most hilarious thing. It's very, very funny. Nice height, Irene. Nice height. But Champions is a really funny movie. It's about a basketball coach who is played by Woody Harrelson, who is thrown out of the league. He's fired. He gets into a car accident. And instead of going to jail, he gets a choice: go to jail or do community service. And he does community service, helping out this basketball team get to the Special Olympics. And it's a funny movie. It has heart. It is just one of my favorites. I did not see the joke. Let's see here. What joke? Well, I did not see the joke. So, joke's on me. Anyways, the other movie I got, and this was yesterday, was The Naked City. And this is from 1948. And in, I think, the late 50s, they did a TV series based on this movie. And, you know, they say there are 8 million stories in the Naked City. The Naked City is New York. And this was done like on the fly, like one of those movies where you get out there and you do your guerrilla filming, and you don't have permits, and you'd have someone distracting the crowd, and you get your shot in. It's a really good movie. It's a great police procedural. It takes place, I think, like within the span of a day or so, and it's about the murder of a woman and who murdered her. It's really, really good. As a matter of fact, The Naked City, the show and the movie, the show and the movie are both, how can I put it? They were the inspiration for shows like Law and Order and things like that. But this is a great film, The Naked City. Also directed by Jules Dassin. 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 Yeah, Dassin. It's a good movie. Let's see here. Engage your audience, community participants, drop out, community moderation. Let's see here. All right, so hold on here, folks. So, what did I do? Okay, here I am. Yes. Okay, let's see here. Okay. All right. So, all right. That is a good one, Stubble. That's a very good one. This is my first stream. I'm a little nervous, but not too nervous. So it's going well, and I'm glad I got 3-4 people watching. It's a start. It's a good start. Does anybody have any questions for me that they would like to ask? Because thank you, Irene. I'll answer any questions. If you want to send them, if you want to ask a question, ask my way, send them my way, and we will answer them the best we can. So, yeah. And I was nervous about setting up the stream. I'd never done a live stream, but I figured out how to set it up so that it would start at 1:30. So yeah, this is going great. So yeah, if you have a question, are you going to do any collaborations on live streams? Yeah, there is a collaboration in the works being worked out at this time. I have to get one of the StreamYards or something like that to include them onto this. I'm just going right through YouTube right now, but there is something in the works coming up between myself, 50 Shades of Taylor, and King Tannic. The three of us are working on something together for each of our channels. So one stream will be on Taylor's, one stream will be on mine, one stream will be on King Tannic. And we're just trying to figure out how we want to do it, because we got together the other night and just to see how the dynamic would be, if it would work out. And we had a blast. And so that would that's going to happen at some point. We got plenty of time to do it. We're just trying to figure out how the format would be, what we want to do, and when we want to do it. But yeah, thank you for asking that question, Stubble. That was a good question. Thomas Bartholdi asks, when buying films or TV shows, do you prefer the ones with the bonus features as well? Yes. I think Irene. I do. I think that the bonus features are the best, especially if you get a good commentary. If you get a commentary on it, you watch the movie first and you watch it again at some other point with the commentary, and then you get all the great stories of what they did, what they didn't do, how they did it, who they got to be in it, who wasn't in it. Like, I know like a lot of Criterion films, like this one, has some commentary. I have not listened to the commentaries yet on some of these films. This one here, Champions, has one with the Bobby Farley. And the Farley brothers are the ones who did they did like Something About Mary and the Three Stooges and Me, Myself, and Irene and The Ringer and stuff. And the Farley brothers are from Rhode Island. They're from my home state. So yeah. My favorite position. Well, if you must know, Irene, 69. Now, my favorite position to sleep in. I like to sleep on my side. Sometimes I'll sleep on my back. Why not sleep hanging upside down like Michael Keaton in Batman? You could do that, but then all the blood rushes to your head. I don't know if that's good for you either. Don't know if that is good. Would I try it? Maybe. If you're sleeping during 69, so yes, that's true. Then again, you'll get a big surprise if you wake up during that. So the next movie I got was Jesus Revolution. I am not one for the faith-based movies, but I liked the trailer for this movie, the Jesus Revolution, and Kelsey Grammer's in it, and I wanted to see it, and it's based on a true story, and it's the story of how in the 60s, let's say close to 1970. So you're coming after the summer of love. It's just the summer of love is ending. A big revolution happened where people just started flocking towards Jesus. That's where all the hippies started going to Jesus. And Kelsey Grammer plays a real life pastor named Chuck Smith. And he didn't understand why the hippies were protesting the war and all that stuff. And he goes to his daughter, well, if God brings a hippie to me, then maybe that person will understand. And a hippie ended up coming to the house and staying, and ended up bringing more and more hippies to the church. And a lot of the church did not like that these long-haired kids were there at the church. And Kelsey Grammer was like, well, this is not just my church, it's your church, it's everybody's church. And it is a really great movie. And I wasn't expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. And it's not something that they throw in your face, but it is something that shows that when push comes to shove, young people can change their minds and flock at something good. So it's a good movie, and if you're into movies that are faith based or anything like that, check that one out. And then on Tuesday, either Tuesday or Wednesday, I got X, Pearl, and then I got X. And I have not watched these yet, but I plan to. And I can't wait for Maxine as well. Okay, Stubble, thank you for stopping by. And by the way, folks, check out Positive Fandom with Stubble McShave and RM do a review show of the episodes of The Wheel of Time. And they'll be doing, in the fall, they'll probably be doing another review show of it, recapping the first season. And then going into the second season, they'll be doing another review show of it. So check that out. Vision Taylor's kept getting... Oh, that doesn't sound fun, Irene. The other movie I've gotten here is... Yes, they did. They did do a show on Wheel of Time. They did it when it came out. And I believe there's a whole playlist on the Positive Fandom channel for that. I also got Cocaine Bear. Maximum Rampage edition. And this one also has, I believe, commentary by Elizabeth Banks. And I can't wait to watch it with the commentary. So that looks fun. And the final movie I recently got was the 1940 version of The Green Hornet with Gordon Jones and Key Luke. Yes, they do. They do. And as a matter of fact, I believe tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific, there is a Hornblower live stream. Am I correct in that? Yes, commentaries are the best. I love commentaries. I love that the stories that come from behind it, and the best commentaries that I know of are the Lord of the Rings extended editions. Like I have the set that looks like a book. It's like a big box, and it has all 3 movies in it, and it has all the special features. The first 2 Blu-rays that are in that set had the special features that Rob worked on. Oh, it's today. Okay, so today at 6 Eastern on Positive Fandom. Check out Darth Plato and RM as they review Horatio Hornblower. They've been doing these great live streams about the series, and I believe you can find them on. Hey, S Beam, good to see you. You can find. I think you can watch the show on YouTube itself, the Horatio Hornblower. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings behind the scenes and the commentaries are great. The set I have has not only those behind the scenes, but also a whole other set. I think it's called the Costa something, but it looks like a whole bunch of leftover footage from it. It's really cool. I haven't really finished watching it all because there is just so much special footage in that. Then again, if you get, hey, and there she is, RM, friend of the channel, good friend, collaborator, which I like to call her. What is it that I keep forgetting? Instead of collaborator, I call her my conspirator. That's it. It is good to see you, RM. So Darth Plato was telling me today you're doing your Horatio Hornblower. That's right. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Positive Fandom as well. And keep up with that channel because not only do they do the Horatio Hornblower, does she do the Horatio Hornblower stuff with Darth Plato every Sunday morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. You can check out Sunday Brunch Live with RM and author Russ Whitfield, where they parlay the fandom. So you can get your mimosas, you can get your brunch, and you can get your pop culture on as well. So check that out. And I will be in the chat because I am the moderator for her channel as well. Yes, and that's what Darth Plato was telling me as well today. So that's right. So tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific for those of you on the West Coast. On Positive Fandom, they're reviewing Horatio Hornblower. Episodes of that show. Yeah, and so anyways, guys, I will answer any questions you have as well. So I'm not just sitting here, you know, going off the top of my head trying to think of subjects. I will answer any question you have. So yeah. Today I went to Walmart and Taylor from 50 Shades of Tay was doing his live stream, and I may have taken the computers there and set it to his channel and had the computers showing his live stream on a lot of them. And I told Taylor this, and he's like, "Hey, Walmart, and hey, people who are over 69 or under 69, something like that." So yeah. Have I watched Tank yet? No, I still need to watch Tank. I think that may be something I'll be coming up later on today. I might have to. I know I have. Um, I'm probably gonna watch Tank later. Maybe I'll watch that and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels tonight because I was gonna do it last night. Banned? No, I was not banned from Walmart. No, I will tell you this. I'll tell you a great story. When I was in my 20s, I worked for a catalog company called the Paragon, and I had a friend named Todd, and we would go to the casino. Now, here in Connecticut, we have two casinos. One is Foxwoods, and the other one is the Mohegan Sun. And we would go to the Mohegan Sun and demonetized from Walmart. We would go to the Mohegan Sun and we would page people, but we would do funny names. And one day I asked them to page uh, Leo Lipschitz, and they asked me to spell the last name Lipschitz. And the lady said, "I'm sorry, I'm going to have to ask my um, boss if I can announce that name." And I'm thinking, well, what if I'm looking for someone and there's an emergency and I'm paging this person? Why would you need to ask permission for that last name? It's a simple last name. But they didn't. But there was one time my friend was next to me and I paged his name and I put the phone down, because you hang the phone up and then they call you when someone gets it. And I paged his name. My friend was standing next to me and the phone rang and there was someone with his name in the casino. And we were like, okay, gotta go. But we used to do crazy things like that. We would call up Gamblers Anonymous, saying that we couldn't stop gambling on whether it was the chicken or the egg, just silly things because we were really, in our early 20s and crazy like that. There was a time we'd go to Toys R Us. Yes, and Mohegan Sun is a great casino, by the way. It's a great casino, except you can get lost in it because it is like a pentagon almost inside. So it's all round, and you could never find the exits in that place. So it's like you're always walking around in circles. You have a hard time finding the exits. Foxwoods is a great place too. I used to work at Foxwoods. I was at Foxwoods. I got to see Bill Cosby. Hello, Mikey Lito, and welcome to you as well. So when I saw Bill Cosby, that he must have been in his early 70s at the time, and this is a guy who's in his early 70s did two and a half hours of straight stand up, and he would do two shows a night. So we'd do a show at 7 and then another show at 11. Yeah, it blew me away. My grandfather used to go see Bill Cosby. This is before we all knew what was going on with Bill Cosby. Thomas. But my grandfather would go see Bill Cosby. My grandfather would sit in the front row, and Cosby would see him, stop the show, and start asking my grandfather about me. He'd be like, "How's your grandson doing?" and this and that. And my grandfather would go and see him, but then would have to sit in different rows because he didn't like that Cosby would stop the show and come up to the edge of the stage and just have conversations with him. One of the best stand-up shows I've seen, though, at Foxwoods was Brad Garrett, who played the brother on Everybody Loves Raymond, the big tall guy. And Brad Garrett, one of the funniest stand-up acts you will see. If you ever go and you want to see a great stand-up comic, go see Brad Garrett. He's hilarious. I've seen Brad Garrett and I've seen Leno. And Jay Leno is great too. He comes out there and does his stuff. He's great. Have I seen anybody else? Those are the only 3 stand-up shows I've been to. Though I would like to see Seinfeld. I would like to see Ray Romano at some point. But I do love stand-up comics. As a matter of fact, I'm friends with a few stand-up comics. I have one of my friends is named Travis Clark. His father's name is Blake Clark. So if you look up Blake Clark, Blake was on Home Improvement, played the character of Harry, the hardware owner. He was also in Little Nicky. He was Satan's right-hand man. He's got that gravelly voice. Well, Blake Clark took over the role of Slinky Dog for Jim Varney when Jim Varney died because they were good friends. So he took over for it. And when they decided they were going to build the Slinky Dog roller coaster at Disney World, my friend Travis said, "I can't wait to ride my dad." Yeah. So that's what he would do. That was one of his jokes, and I loved that joke. I have another friend, Bobby Oliver, who she asked Alexa who was Amazon's favorite comic, and apparently it was her. Yeah, so I like stand-ups. I love the fact that you know I'm very grateful to have a friend like Rob who is also in the industry. Which Rob will break down everything that's going on in Hollywood for you, but he does it in such a way that you understand. And I'm so glad for that. And sometime at some point, Rob will be a guest on my show. I keep saying, let's make these plans, and he's always on someone else's show or he's busy. Or, by the way, if you go to Instagram and follow Gilbert and Tallulah, if you're looking for an Irish doodle, a full-blooded F1B Irish doodle, there's pictures of the puppies. There's an application for adoption, and you can get yourself an Irish doodle. And what else? As his lovely, lovely girlfriend Elizabeth would say, when you adopt a puppy, you're welcome into the family. Which Rob's response was, oh, yeah, but you know what? Those puppies are grown. Those puppies are getting big. But they're lovely. And I think Rob is having a hard time letting them go. I think Rob's becoming attached to them. But they've already sold 2, maybe 3 dogs so far. So that's really good of him to that's really nice that one of them went to a nice family. which is great. Yes, Pubservations, which, by the way, if you see the last live stream that Rob did, the thumbnail picture of Rob holding the puppy, I did that picture. That was a picture that Rob had on his Instagram, and I took that picture and I put it in this background of the blue sky and clouds. And I didn't realize it till after I did this picture. It looked like it was an in remembrance type picture. And both Irene and I were talking about this, and I'm like, really, in the background of that picture, you should be hearing "The Arms of an Angel," like one of those commercials. Please adopt this dog now. You know, the saddest song you can think of. Please adopt these puppies now. But yeah, so if you're looking for a puppy, check that out, and check out the Burnett Work for that and many other shows. Yeah. But you know, the more and more I read this about you getting kicked out of a mall, Thomas, acting like an Oompa Loompa, I can't get that image out of my head. What else? Yes, make you all cheer up for the puppies, like Picard. Exactly. Which, by the way, if you have not done so yet, if you have not watched Picard 3, watch it and then go to the Burnett Work and watch the after shows. Exactly. And watch the after shows that RM from Positive Fandom and Julian Mushkin had done. They would do these live watch parties, and then they would do a after show, which was fantastic. So you can check those out. As a matter of fact, if you go to the Paramount Plus YouTube channel, there's a great tour of the Enterprise D that Will Wheaton and Mike Okuda did. And the emotion and the excitement of Will Wheaton for being back on that set is fantastic. And you also find out where the word LCARS come from and who was the first person to ever say that word. And they go through all the all the insider stories about what each button does and how this is like this and this is like that. And it's an amazing tour. I was watching this last night, and it's fantastic. And I think the Roddenberry Archives has a thing where you can tour a lot of the different ships, and they've recreated them and stuff. It's really fascinating. Yes, and by the way, when you subscribe to Positive Fandom, you can watch RM do her great streams where she plays games. She did a whole month or so of Harry Potter, the Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy, which, by the way, I believe has a download already, a new downloadable content, which I think is a new song. Which, what everybody was asking for. Was it Quidditch that they wanted? No, they all wanted a new song. There's a new song on there. Yeah, more than a month. And now she's doing Jedi Survivor. And then later this month, she'll be doing the new Star Trek game, Resurgence, I think it's called. Star Wars Resurgence. So, yeah. Definitely a really fantastic fantastic streams. And when she plays these streams and she's playing these games, you can ask her any question you want. Well, within reason. I mean, appropriately. Because, she's a good person. You got to be nice to her. She's great. She's a good friend, I remember when we have like a little text group And I remember watching RM on when it was Midnight Metal. And I remember saying to Catherine, who has a show coming up on Monday, Catherine, also known as Sly Snide on Twitter, SLYSNIDE. She's got a show coming up Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's right. And she's got a show called Cat's Corner on the Burn Network. But yes, but when you watch RM do these streams, you all are giving her some great help and feedback and whatnot. And while I'm at it, I just want to give a big shout out to RM's mom. She is a lovely, lovely lady who I'd met probably about year and a half ago through a Zoom that we did. It was myself and Scotty. I know Scott's probably still here, and I know he remembers meeting RM's mom, and Catherine met her as well, and Rob did. That's when Rob first met RM's mom. She's a really, really lovely person. Lovely. So yeah. So I went and did some Mother's Day shopping for my mom today as well, because we went to Walmart and I snuck off and got her a few cool things for Mother's Day, because that's coming up here in America on the 14th. So if you're an American and you need to get something for your mom, now's the time, because pretty soon you're going to see people rushing around for that, for getting that stuff. I play mainly Pokemon or Nintendo video game. Yeah, I like the Nintendo games as well. I used to have the Nintendo, the original Nintendo, where you had the cartridges and they'd go into the machine. And what I hear is you're not supposed to blow onto those into those cartridges. But to clean them, you're supposed to use like a rubbing alcohol or something like that. Which some places do that. And a lot of secondhand places, you can actually buy one of those Nintendos in the games and stuff. And they still work. They refurbish them and everything. So yeah, like I used to have that. I used to have an Atari 2600. I had, yes, E.T., and I used to play that a lot. Of course you do, Irene. Of course you do. Which, by the way, folks, Irene is a good friend of mine. She and I message each other all the time. And we just make each other laugh. She got me on a podcast last Friday. Ray Lytle, Lytle, and the show is called Morning Disaster, and she got me on there, and I talked about my kidney transplant. And I told them how I found the show is through Irene. And they're like, oh, well, of course. Because Irene just brings people in. And that's what she does. Irene is one of the friendliest people on the internet here. She's really great. She's got an OnlyFans that's all cats' butts. So that's right, folks. Join Irene for Cat Butts on Parade. No. What a great idea, though, for an OnlyFans. You get there and it's just all cat butts. Yeah. Yeah, I would like a Switch, I think. But the only problem with the Nintendo Switch is, I think, playing that Goldfinger game. What's it? Goldfinger? Goldmember? GoldenEye, that's it. The controls are not right for the game. and people are having a hard time playing that. Yes, they do. They actually make that. And how they keep that on the cat without the cat taking it off is beyond me. So, Thomas, how far into your novel are you? Like, did you just start? Are you in the middle? Are you close to the end? Like, percentage wise, are you 50% done? Are you 40% done? Yeah, so we got that big strike going on, the writers' strike, which I'm always seeing like these information like so and so has joined this movie and so has joined that movie. And it makes me wonder if these people are joining movies, how is that working with the strike going on? And I don't know how that works though. I mean, unless the script is already done and they're going to make these movies, but don't you need, in case you need to do rewrites and stuff, don't you need the writers? And I really hope things work out for all those writers because without the writers, well, that's great. 70 to 80%. Over 30 that's great, Thomas. That's awesome. Without these writers who write for TV shows and movies, you don't get your favorite shows, you don't get your favorite movies, you don't get your favorite characters or whatnot. And these people do deserve a better living wage. And I think the things that they're asking for are not unreasonable. You know, they want a writer's room. They want to have at least, 10 to 52 weeks of writing time, of work time. That's fine. But that's something that the studios don't want. They want to make it like a gig thing. They don't want it to be a regular thing. They want it to be like freelance, and you can't live off that. You know? Yeah, I hope so too. I actually was um, interacting with a writer last night on Twitter. Her name is Jenny Johnson, and she's been doing these movie watches where she was watching last night. What was she watching? Uncle Buck, and we were going back and forth talking about that. As a matter of fact, she said at one point she had a show, and she was the writer of it. She created it. She wanted to be an executive producer on it, and the studio said no. But she created the show. It blows my mind. Yeah, Uncle Buck is great. I remember seeing Uncle Buck when that came out. My mother and I went and saw Uncle Buck, and my father and my brother went to go see Parenthood. And then the next time we went to the movies, my brother and father went and saw Uncle Buck, and my mother and I went and saw Parenthood, which are two fantastic movies. I mean, we got some really great movies in the 80s. Uncle Buck, Parenthood, Romancing the Stone, Jewel of the Nile, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Little Shop of Horrors, Um, and of course, it is Star Wars Day. And it's funny because I always thought that Return of the Jedi came out in 84, and it always blows my mind it came out in 83. And I was 8 years old when that came out. And I remember going and seeing it because my father took me to see it. I remember going to see it because we had a kid on my street who was obsessed with um, Star Wars. Just, you think fans are passionate now. This kid, full on passionate about it. Loved it. Um, he was a great person into that. Just really knew his stuff. And it's funny because I was watching Taylor's show this morning, 50 Shades of Tay, when he did his live stream, and he talked about going to see. Hey, Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington, welcome. Yeah, so Taylor went and saw it, and he said it's funny watching Return of the Jedi on the big screen again because now you know, like things that were set up in that movie that had the tension and the high stakes. Well, sometime, well, you know, the Emperor dies. Well, he's going to come back, but we didn't know that then. And just different things like that, and how things change and whatnot. And let me tell you, folks, and this is the truth. No matter how you look at it, your favorite movies and shows, they're always going to be somehow at some point rebooted. Maybe now, maybe 20 years from now, 30 years from now. You may not like how they change it, but then again, the people who are changing it may not like the way it is now, or that, you know, everybody's gonna like something different. You know, it makes me, it surprises me because some people liked, no, they didn't like the Last Jedi. No one, apparently, no one liked it. They were all upset over it. And then Rise of Skywalker comes out, and it was like overnight. Last Jedi became the second coming of Jesus, where everybody loved it, and then they hated that. Well, not everybody's going to like what you like. Some people like Rise of Skywalker. I happen to like it. Which, by the way, speaking of Star Wars and whatnot, I think right now, or maybe later on today, is the Walk of Fame ceremony for Carrie Fisher. She's getting her star on the Walk of Fame today, which I already thought she did, but I saw an announcement for it. So she's getting her star today. Hopefully, Harrison and Mark Hamill will be there. But yeah, some things I didn't like about Rise of Skywalker, and that's okay. But what I liked about it was there were some emotional beats in that movie. And the emotional beats in that movie for me was, and it always gets me, is when they find out that Leia has passed, and then Chewbacca finds out, and he lets out that giant growl or scream, and he drops to his knees. And in that moment, you can sense, I'm getting a little teary talking about this, you can tell that he realizes he lost not only the best friend, but also Leia, his other best friend. You know, these two people he cared about. And in that moment, it just says everything. It says everything you need to know about Chewbacca. And then when they give him the medal, that just, I'm getting a little worked up over that. But it's a beautiful scene. And, you know, and it shows how much that character loved those two. And yeah, I was shocked too. I already thought she had a star, But apparently it's today, and she didn't. I'm sure her daughter will be there. But no, I did not watch Vision season 2. I haven't even watched the first season. I have to do that. It's funny because I was looking at, because I have Audible, and I was looking at audiobooks, and there was one for a um no, Chewie didn't. The medal that he was given was Han's. It was Han's medal that Leia had, and it was given to Chewie. But there is a Star Wars Visions novel, and it has looks like a samurai Jedi on it or something like that. And I'm reading the comments for reviews for it, and someone went, "It's not a Star Wars story." But Visions is not your typical Star Wars show. Visions is inspired by Star Wars. You know? Yeah. By the way, the Star Wars audiobooks are the best because they have sound effects. Like I have for Star Wars audiobooks, three different Thrawn books. I think it's that second series of trilogies. It's not the Heir to the Empire. There's a second set of trilogies that they did for him. I have that second trilogy of Thrawn books. I have the Darth Plagueis audiobook. I have the Tarkin audiobook. I have the Ahsoka audiobook, which is fantastic because it's read by Ashley Eckstein or Eckstein. And that's a great one. I also have Anthony Daniels' book that he did, his biography or something like that about being in Star Wars, which is a great one as well. I have the Solo. Yeah, I have the Solo audiobook, which I believe is extended, and I have the extended version of, I think it's the Rise of Skywalker as well. But the Solo audiobook, I believe, had there was something in it that they didn't put in the movie. And I forget what it was. But they're good audiobooks. They have the sound, they have the great sound effects and stuff. I also have one based on Galaxy's Edge, which is another good one. But if you really want a really good audiobook, Lock and Key. The Lock and Key audiobook is a full-blown audio dramatization of Lock and Key. And it's fantastic. Right. Yeah, I like the Lock and Key. It's got a super cast. Let's see here. Let's see here if I can find the cast for that. Oh, thank you, RM. Thank you very much. Yeah, the Lock and Key books are great. Lately I've been listening to they got audiobooks based on Hellboy as well. They're specifically novels, and they're great. Yeah, Lock and Key has a great cast in it as well. Yeah, let's see here. This is funny. Now this is turning into what I thought what Taylor and King Tanik and our show is going to be like. Just Taylor on the phone. Lock and Key. Okay. Lock and Key has for a cast Kate Mulgrew, Tatiana Maslany, She-Hulk, Haley Joel Osment. It's got a great, great cast in it. Joe Hill, Stephen King, Gabriel Rodriguez, and it says experience this title in. Yes, it has immersive 3D audio. So if you download it, the quality to high within the app, you'll get a full 3D effect of Lock and Key. But it's a great yeah, I got like I love The Martian. I have that as well. But for Star Wars, I have 13 titles. I have the Doku, Jedi Lost, Galaxy's Edge, Black Spire, IM3CPO, Last Jedi, The Princess Diarist, Carrie Fisher's book. I might have to listen to that tonight because it's Star Wars Day. Rise of Skywalker Expanded Edition, Solo, A Star Wars Story, Star Wars Ahsoka, Star Wars Darth Plagueis, Tarkin, and then I have Thrawn Alliances, and Thrawn Treason. And those are the Star Wars books that I have. But I also have like Neil Gaiman books, like the Graveyard Book, which is for full cast, the full cast of The Omen, and Sandman Act 1 and 2. I still need to get Act 3. But yeah, I really do enjoy those books, those audio books and stuff. I really do enjoy that. So yeah. So anybody have any other questions they'd like to ask? Any questions? Anything at all? Yeah, they used to have the radio plays on Audible, but they don't anymore, I don't think. I don't think you could get them on there anymore. But I do know like Mark Hamill did the voice in that. Did his voice in that and whatnot. Which, by the way, speaking of Mark Hamill, I'm excited to see The Machine with Bert Kreischer. Are you going to be doing review shoes? Review shoes? Well, I don't really know much about shoes. Oh, shows. Yes. Yes, I'll be doing more review videos and stuff. I might start doing the review videos as live streams, I think. I think that might be the way to go with it, So yeah. Yeah, so anything else? I mean, I can't believe we're like an hour and almost 15 into this. This is going great. I'm enjoying this. But I think next time I'll fix it so the stream is not stuck on slow. Shows, yes. I'll be, and I just answered that question. I might have to do that and maybe fix the delay time a little bit. Instead of 60 seconds, I'll probably have to shorten that time just a little bit. Yeah, it's great. It is. It's fun. I always tell Rob, if he can't do a show, sometimes I just want to throw a Zoom link into the stream and just do a whole Zoom like we did one night, Tom, Well, thank you, Irene. Thank you very much. And today I'm wearing my. Oh, hold on. This is in my pants. Today I'm wearing my NASA shirt. Oh, I bet it does. I bet it does. I remember having the original. Someone made copies of the original Star Wars. I used to have Empire and did I have Return of the Jedi? No, I had Empire and Star Wars, and someone made copies of it for us. That's right. It was Empire and Star Wars and the Blues Brothers. I was a young child and I liked the Blues Brothers, which, by the way, the first movie I ever saw was Magic, starring Anthony Hopkins. My parents thought that since I loved the Muppets, and I still do, but since I love the Muppets, I would love this movie because it had a puppet in it. They didn't look into what this movie was about and didn't realize it was about a homicidal ventriloquist dummy. And if I ever see that movie on TV, I have to watch it. And there is a novel that of Magic as well, and I believe it was written by William Goldman, who wrote The Princess Bride as well. Um, yeah, speaking of Superman, if you're looking for a great graphic novel, Superman 78, if I may recommend that to you all, is a great. Now it's in hardback, and when you take off the cover, the hardcover itself looks like a VHS tape. That says Superman 78 on it, and on the spine it looks like a piece of tape is on there, and written in almost like handwriting, Superman 78. And there's a second graphic novel called Batman 89, which is just like that one, and it's Michael Keaton's Batman, and Superman 78 is Christopher Reeves, and it's like a direct sequel to uh, Superman 2. So it would have been Superman going up against Brainiac, and what Brainiac would have done was he would have. You hear that Krypton had blown up, and yeah, so Krypton had blown up. But what you didn't realize is that Brainiac had shrunk everything in Krypton, and Superman's parents were still alive. And Brainiac comes to Earth, captures Superman, puts him in the Lost City, and Superman finally meets his parents. And at one point, Metropolis is being attacked, and there's a panel, and you see these kids, and it's the Goonies visiting Metropolis, and it is fantastic. And at the end of the book, it is dedicated to Richard Donner, and it really is done in the spirit of Richard Donner's films. The Batman 89 is done in a way that is a sequel. It would have been what the third film would have been if Tim Burton would have done it. So Two-Face would have been played by Billy D. Williams. And yeah, it's really It's really cool. It's a really cool graphic novel. So the Batman 89 and Superman 78, two great graphic novels. And I think you can get both of those, and it comes in a nice slipcase as well. A really cool looking slipcase that it comes in. Um, yeah. Yeah, Jack Nicholson did. And he was allergic to that makeup as well. But Jack Nicholson, he gets all the back end of any Joker merchandise from that movie. And I think he may still get a piece of that. I could be wrong. That is why he can afford not to make movies, because he made so much money off of Batman. So whenever they do a reissue of it on Blu-ray or 4K, Jack is getting a hefty piece of money whenever they redo that, or if it goes in the theater. Like, I would like to see them re-release Batman in the theater, remastered, Dolby Vision, Atmos, on the big screen, even do it in IMAX, you know? That would be fantastic. Seeing the Joker up there in IMAX. Um, I always thought that scene in Batman '89 where on the church, that scene should have been in 3D. Well, even that whole um, parade sequence as well with all the balloons and stuff. But that's a great movie because that's all um, practical shots and stuff like that. But I believe I saw Magic at the Drive-In. First movie I saw in a movie theater was the Muppet movie in '79. But I remember going to the drive-in to see. But I remember going to the drive-in and seeing what was it? I remember going to the drive-in and seeing Rambo, Revenge of the Nerds 2. I remember going and seeing Rambo, Revenge of the Nerds. I believe we saw Rocky. Yeah, Rocky we saw at the drive-in. Rocky 2. I think we saw most of the Rambo films, like Rambo 1, 2, and 3 at the drive-in. Me, my mom and dad, and my brother. And they used to have a drive-in down by the beach where they had like a swing set outside for the kids. Which, by the way, the first Mission Impossible, was it the first? No, I think it may have been either the first Mission Impossible or the second one. One of them was like the last VHS to be made by Paramount. You never been, I mean, there are still drive-ins around the country, and I think they're starting to become more and more popular. Especially with the pandemic, they became popular where stand-up comics would go and do their shows at a drive-in, and you would sit in your cars, and then if you liked the jokes, you'd honk your horn and flash the lights at people, because there's nothing better than blinding a comic while they're trying to make you laugh with your headlights. So yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. So I watch like a lot of YouTubers. I watch, Rob on the Burnett Work. I watch RM on her Positive Fandom channel. Yes, exactly. You'd run them over, and then you'd go to prison for the rest of your life because Why not? I watch Rob. I watch M. I watch King Tanic's channel sometimes. Uh, Taylor, 50 Shades of Tay. There's a channel I like called Lady Romy. She's a very, very nice YouTuber who did a live stream last night, and I gave her a nice compliment, and she complimented me really nice. She goes, "I don't know you in person, but I've always seen I know your avatar, I know your channel, your Twitter feed. You're always kind to me," and she thanked me. Another channel I like is the Magic Geekdom. The Magic Geekdom. That's MAGICGEEKDOM. The Magic Geekdom. That channel. I've met these two. I've met these two YouTubers. Was it last summer? May have been last summer or the summer before. They were driving down and they were driving up the East Coast, and they stopped by, and I got to hang out with them down at the Dairy Queen down the street from my house here. And two of the loveliest people. They'll send me postcards from on the road every now and then, and really, really nice people. And I like their channel, so check their channel out if you like travel videos from different places, because they do some really great streams. Right now, they've been doing a lot of videos from England because they visited England. So they go to a whole bunch of different little villages and stuff, and they review the foods. They're great people. And then there's Super Enthused, and that's run by a nice lady named Jackie, and she does a lot of the theme parks in Florida. She does she does travel to England every now and then because her boyfriend is from England, so that she'll go over there and she'll go like to Alton Towers and different places like that. Um, she's been traveling the country. A few months ago, I believe she went to Dollywood as well. You the Fast and Furious them. I don't get that one. Yeah, she went to Dollywood. I believe they went to like other places there. Like I like that. I like their channel. I like Adam the Woo and Justin Scard. And Adam and Justin have done the Route 66. Watching videos of people going down Route 66 is great, by the way, folks. If you've ever seen the movie Cars and you watch people go down Route 66, you will see sights and you'll go, wait, that was in Cars. No, no, no. Everything on Route 66 is what inspired the movie Cars. So yeah. But has everybody been watching the different streams today of the Star Wars streams they got going on? I think the Star Wars stream has DJ Rex doing his lo-fi beats all day or something like that. I believe I woke up this morning and Six Scale Mafia was already doing his stream of Star Wars Day. Um, yeah, just there is so much out there. Like I watch people who do camping videos. My favorite are the people that like to go camping in the winter. Love that. I don't know why, but I love it. I love it that these are people who will camp in a tent. That's right. Well, yeah, you got to do what you got to do, Irene. I mean, you got about 9 children, as from what I remember, 9 children, all under the age of 7, which is amazing. Congratulations on that one. Um, how you do it, we don't know. Yeah, I've been watching the Roku channel. Yeah, you would think that they would do it then. As a matter of fact, you would think that May would be the month that they did Star Wars Celebration. That maybe this week or the week of the 25th of May is when they would do Star Wars Celebration, and choose not to do it when it's Easter, which I talked to RM about this. I was like, I was surprised that they had celebration on Easter, which in 2025, I think the last day is Easter of celebration. Yeah, I mean, it is sketchy at best. But it's all as I say. Not everybody's going to like what you like. I mean, some people are going to like Rise of Skywalker. Some people are not. Some people are going to like Star Trek Discovery. Some are not. Some people are going to like this. Some people are going to like that. It's But what I see is if you can have a positive or a constructive discussion about why you like it or why you don't like it, that's great. When you say, well, I like this because of this, and you should too, well, I don't like this, and my opinion is what you should follow, that's not a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing at all. I really don't. I think that it's more of I want to say, selfish way of doing things, like a bossy way, or of telling people that my opinion means more than yours, and it doesn't. That's why whenever I do a movie review, I go, look, this is just my opinion, my view. You can either accept it or not accept it. You can take it or not take it. As long as you're enjoying what you're watching, that is great. And if you don't, you don't. I mean, yeah, I mean, and not everything's going to be perfect. You know, as a matter of fact, if you have Disney Plus, go into the extras for Thor: Love and Thunder, and there's a deleted scene. I think it's called "Fighting for Your Life" or something like that, and it's Thor and Jane, and Jane is in bed, in the hospital bed, and Thor is talking to her, and he looks over, and behind the curtain is Zeus, played by Russell Crowe. And it's a really great scene where Russell Crowe takes Thor outside and shows him how to get the electric bolt, the lightning bolt, and stuff. And then he tells Thor how to find eternity. And Thor's like, well, aren't you going to come with me? And Zeus is like, no, you have to be pure. And I am not pure. I have made many, many mistakes in my life, but I am not pure. And you see, and while he's discussing all this to Thor, you see that Jane is in the bed, and outside the window, you just see Thor's hammer just like floating by, and then it knocks on the window, and she reaches out, and the next thing you know, there she is, all buffed out. What most people don't understand about Thor: Love and Thunder is this. There are people who, when they get a diagnosis like cancer or like with me, the kidney problem, you get to a point where you're not wanting to accept it. So you be very much like, what is stage 4? You make jokes about it. And that's what she did, because Jane didn't want to face what she had. Thor: Love and Thunder and Phase 4 are all about family, grief, overcoming grief, and trying to move forward and accepting what's happening and moving forward. And it's funny because I was saying that a lot, and no one else was saying this. No one else noticed it. No one else was saying it. And I want to say 4 or 5 months ago, it started showing up in different articles. Well, Phase 4 was about this. I'm like, well, I've been saying this the whole time, and no one was listening. But, what are you going to do? So, yeah. I do know this, folks, is that when I finally do my collaboration with King Tannic and Taylor, there is a rule that has been made, so I'm going to let you all know now. Taylor does not want any questions about John Campea being asked to him. That is a awkward thing for him. It's not really appropriate because it's really more between him and John, sort of like what happened between Rob and John was between Rob and John. And if Rob wanted to talk about it, he could, but that's totally up to Rob. It's not really up to us of what happened. We don't need to know why such and such happened. None of our business. Now, that being said, like, I've been in the Midnight Musings chat, and Taylor has come in and people gravitate towards him. So, Taylor, what about John? This is about John. Blah, 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 John. And it's awkward. And trying to tell people that's not the topic. It just makes them want to talk about it more. And I realize it's like telling someone, don't push that red button. What are they going to do? Push that red button. Classic Yellow Submarine situation. Don't press that button. What does Ringo do? Presses that red button. Exactly. But yeah, as a matter of fact, if you all want to see Rob on my channel, oh, I know what button you want to press. I know what button you want to press, Irene. Wink, wink. If you want to see Rob on my channel, follow him on Twitter at BurnettRM and say, when are you going to be on Tom's channel? Let's see how many people go up to Rob and ask him that. No, don't harass Rob about that. Let me do that. I mean, ask him. Not harass. I would never harass Rob. Yeah, Irene and I would be the two people who would get in trouble. We'd probably go someplace and cause trouble. Irene is the friend that if this was high school, she and I would have been hanging out every day, getting into trouble. And yeah, she'd be one of those people that would get into trouble with me. Because Irene is my partner in filth. Yes. There's nothing more better than getting in an elevator and then pressing the button. You know, that's always fun. And then like someone else comes in the elevator and you try to make sure like you know the elevator is going to open. You're standing far away from the buttons, but half the buttons are pressed, and you're standing there, and someone gets in and they get ready to press it, and they look at you, and you're like, "Hey, man, I don't know. I just got in here, and it's like that. I don't know." And that's perfectly okay. Oh boy. Well, I think this is about an hour and 41 is pretty good for a live stream. I want to thank you all for coming and watching. I'll have to do another one of these. Maybe I'll do another one tomorrow. 'Cause tomorrow I'm going to see Guardians. So maybe I'll have to do a live review of Guardians 3. This was fantastic. And I want to thank RM for showing up. Please, folks, check out Positive Fandom on YouTube. I believe you can find something for it down in the description bar as well. I want to thank Irene Jobson for coming to the stream. Darth Plato, Scott, Thomas, and whoever else has shown up. Jeremiah, and anybody else who watches the replay as well. So thank you very much. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I do great pictures with my Funko Pops. I do some great like customized pictures that look really cool. And that's under the name of Imagination Connoisseur. That's all one word. You can find me on Twitter at Tom Jr. Jackson. So if you want to follow me there, follow me there. And as always, like, comment, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the Burnett Work, subscribe to Positive Fandom, subscribe to King Tannic and 50 Shades of Tay, and, you know, wherever else you want to go. So, oh, Irene, it was my pleasure for you to come to my stream. Wink, wink. So, folks, I guess I got to figure out a sign out. So I would say this: wherever you are, whether it be here, there, anywhere on this planet, the next planet, you don't get it. Okay. Thank you for coming to my stream. Irene and I were being dirty to each other. Wink, wink. We were doing the innuendos, as the kids say. Do they say that? I don't know. But thank you all for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, share, watch some of the videos. And until next time, my friends, I will see you here. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.